Welcome back to Bits and Boards. I'm Anthony Krolikowski, and today we got a hyper-local board game event that is going to be happening very shortly, very soon, depending on when you're watching this episode, in the downtown Albany area. So joining me today is Abigail Batgirl Williams, who is behind the first ever Creators Game Night. So Batgirl, thank you so much for being with us today, and why don't you just introduce yourself?
Like Anthony said, I am Abigail Batgirl Williams. I go by Batgirl in the community. I am a freelance narrative designer and game designer and the creator of Riz the Game.
So for focusing right now here on Dreamscapes Entertainment and this event that you have started, what exactly does this entail and where is it going to be?
So Dreamscapes Entertainment is my freelance narrative design and game design services business. And the Creators Game Night is in partnership with Albany Center Gallery. It is a community game night that brings all local tabletop game developers to kind of show off their work and like demo it. And we have people all the way from like people who've just started making their tabletop games all the way to people who've gotten their game into Barnes & Nobles. And I just want to create a space where they have playtesters and people to come through and just provide them the feedback they need to bring their game to the next level or just promote their game that they already have out.
Now, obviously, for doing a show like this, I love games, video games, board games, whatever. But by no means am I the expert on the local community or just games as a whole. So tell me about what the game design community here is like in the capital region and also the local area. Because when I think of game design and these sort of nights, I think of like Bard and Baker and Troy and that sort of a setting. But I've never really heard of any other ones happening.
So I met the group that I've invited to come and demo their games at Bard and Baker. The Spielbany Albany Game Design Group, they're like a local tabletop game group, and like they play test each other's games like every so often. They have like smaller events where it's kind of just community coming through, and then they have larger events where it's like all of the people that are part of the group coming to like somebody's house and hanging out. And it's a really close-knit group, and I think it's beautiful, and I love it, and I kind of just want to expand on that and give them the outreach that they need to maybe get all of the playtesting and data and information that they could possibly use for making their games so they can get it into Barnes & Nobles or, I don't know, anywhere else, really.
Yeah. Shoot for the stars here, right?
Absolutely.
Now, with your background in game design, just give me that a little bit, your journey with college and what brought you here and also doing this all here in Albany. You told me earlier you're from the city.
Yes.
Now I'm obviously from the country, so totally different worlds converging here in the capital region, Albany. So how did this all start for you?
So I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, but my grandmother had passed away. What year was that? Like 2016 or something. And that was like my second year of high school. It's probably not even 2016. I can't remember the exact year. But she passed away, and I moved up here with family, my aunt and my cousin. And I started going to Albany High out here. So I wouldn't say that I grew up around here, but I will say that Albany is my home. It's kind of just like my definitive years. Like you have your formative years of when you're a child and like the things that you like. But my definitive years of who I became as a person were made out here in Albany. To that point, I really started getting into community work and game design itself with my work at the Red Bookshelf. I also joined this mentorship group called Titan, so it was out in the community working with people, trying to help as many people as possible, and that was all going on while I was in school at Full Sail University. I did their bachelor's game design program and got my bachelor's of science in game design in July of 2024. So it's been like 2 years since I graduated.
Congrats to that.
Thank you. And right after I graduated, I was like, okay, I need to do something. I knew I didn't want to like go into the game design world in like the organic way. Like everybody goes and searches for an internship or a job. But I do not want to ever have my like, you know how you get like all these benefits, gym membership, dental, eye care, all of that. That's fantastic. That's great. But once my contract is up or once they feel like they want to let me go, I lose all of that. So I wanted to start my own thing where they contract with me, but I'm not relying on them for anything except for what we agreed upon in the contract. So that's why I wanted to start Dreamscapes Entertainment. And I also wanted the creative freedom of like writing and creating all of the stories that I wanted to make for myself, for the people around me, because when I growing up on games, it's a story. But
I'm sure representation wasn't the greatest.
Yes, it wasn't. It wasn't the greatest, but it's also just like, even though it wasn't the greatest, I still found myself enjoying the games that I was playing because it was an escape from my reality for me. I was raised by my grandmother, and I had a not so good relationship with my mother. Even though my grandmother was trying to bridge that gap, it just didn't necessarily work. So I was escaping that reality of whenever my mom was over behaving however she was behaving. I was really just honing in on The Sims. I was playing Blade and Soul. I was playing WildStar. All these like crazy games that are on a completely different plane, or I can make my own like cute little family in The Sims. I was just doing my own thing, and that's where my love of games started. Dreamscapes Entertainment became a thing because I didn't want to rely on anybody else for my success, and I didn't want anybody to kind of like censor the stories that I wanted to create. I wanted freedom from all of that, and I want to be able to create the things that I dreamed about when I was younger. I want to weave those dreams into reality, and that's our mission and vision statement, weaving dreams into reality.
I can relate to the escapism. Being a child of divorce, playing Fire Emblem Fates on the 3DS when there was like the two kingdoms and you had family on both sides, that kind of hit home a lot. And I was really engrossed in that experience. And now with Dreamscapes Entertainment, where have you gone with the getting games out or the process of getting games out or making community events? Where has that grown to or got you to this point now where you're having the Creators Night, your first one here?
So, Riz the Game, silly little game I made in college when they told me, hey, make a card game. And that's all the rules that they pretty much gave me. So I said, okay, it was 2022 when I made this. So what is
the Rizzler a thing then?
Yes. Okay. It was literally just becoming popular. Mm-hmm. So my head was like, okay, what's an easy game I can make that everybody kind of already understands the rules to? A matching game. Okay. And then matching, dating, Riz. So here we are with Riz the Game.
Which is a shortened version of Charisma for the people who don't know. Yes. Our older demographic is probably watching the news.
And they're like,
what are they talking about?
What is Riz? No, I think they're all caught up by now.
Okay. You're probably true. Right there.
So I said, let's make a 2-person matching game where they're literally, and I attribute it to this, where it's like you and your friend are in a bar and you see like the same person, you both find them attractive. Now you have to compete to like Riz that person up or try to bag them. And that is what Riz the Game is. You and your friend or whoever playing against each other to try to become the ultimate Rizzler, Riz up as many people as possible. It is a game that is where the majority of rules, you're playing the best 3 out of 5 date cards. So do you want to?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. You set up all these cards here for us on the table, and we've actually moved our cameras around so you can see a nice shot of this. So go right ahead, back row. Show us some of these cards and just how it works.
So this is a date card. Boom. This one is Iris. She was modeled after me because, of course, I had to self-insert.
She's very pretty.
Thanks. Iris is a creative director and brand strategist. I was never really going to be that, but I thought it was a cool job. I was looking into jobs. And her requirements are 5 gifts. Now, in order to meet the requirements of the date card, in order to Riz them up, you have to get a certain amount of gifts or one-liners based on the requirements of the card. And you do that by making matches of 2 or 4 of a kind. So, for example, on your turn, actually that's perfect. On your turn, you'd make a match of 2 or 4. 2 gets you a one-liner, and a match of 4 of a kind gets you a gift. So there are literally 4 of the same card. Let's see. I'll just flip them all over for you guys.
Yeah. So when you're flipping cards over, do you take turns one by one, each person?
One by one.
Okay.
So on your turn, you have 30 seconds. In your little box, you get a sand timer, 30 seconds on the clock. You use that turn to flip over 4 cards and redeem it for either your one-liner or your gift. And then you're continuing to do that. Player 1 and player 2 alternate turns until they have all the things that they need to Riz up Iris. Now, you're competing, so you have to really try to memorize where each of these things are. On the very first turn, you both get to flip over all of the cards, so you could try to memorize where your cards are, but after that, it's kind of just a who has the better memory kind of game.
Okay. So when it comes to what's on the cards, maybe you can give a close-up if you can, or going really up close to the camera, but what exactly is on the cards that we're looking at with the text? Yeah, it's perfect.
These are attributes. I have wit and focus here, for example. So, for example, charisma is a multitude of things. Like, it's not just how good you look. It's how good you can talk, how good you sound. Like, in terms of, like, let's say a performer. A singer is not just a singer. They're a performer. They can sing. They can dance. They have a stage presence, right? So when you're flirting with someone, you have to pay attention to the things that they say, the things that they say that they like, because then you want to then reiterate those things later down the line. If, for example, you're at a bar and the person says, I really like sweet things, and you want to buy them a drink, you're not going to buy them something sour. You're not going to buy them something dry. You'll buy them something sweet, or you'll even get them like something like a food that is sweet. So focus. You're paying attention to the person. Wit. You make a funny joke. People love jokes. People love to laugh. There's another one, like charisma in itself, just being able to, the gift of gab, being able to just speak well, being able to articulate yourself well.
Now, going into the one-liners and the gifts, once again, just explain how you get those and what some of those one-liners are. We'll start there.
Yes. So one-liner is kind of like a flirty little line or joke that you would say to the other person. So this is what I would be saying to Iris. I'll read this one, and this is what the other side of the card looks like. I'll read this one. What are your pronouns? Because I want to make you mine. That is one of the one-liners.
You got to have fun with it, right?
Yeah. And then the gifts are cute little cards that have like presents on the back of them.
Okay. And then just one more time for the recap here.
Yes.
So when you're getting the one-liners or the gifts, just show me the date card here and what exactly the requirements are.
So Iris's requirements are 5 gifts. So I would have to make a match of 4 of the same card in order to redeem that. So it would have to be, let's say, for example, for this purpose, it'd have to be 4 of this focus card. I'd have 4 of these. I don't know where the rest of them are.
That's okay. We can always just say you have the 4.
Let's pretend
it's
I have the 4
good.
here, and I have a date card, I redeem the date card, and we keep going. Now, because Iris is 5 gifts, you'd basically be going through your entire grid and trying to match all the cards together. And that would be how you would play with Iris.
Yeah.
We have other date cards that require different things and require you to kind of manage your grid in different ways. So it's also kind of like a sneaky inventory management kind of setup here. But yeah, and that's where's the game.
And when it comes to the two of you going back and forth, you know, obviously there's an opponent here. What's kind of the competition here? Is it just that you have the 4 and then they go to their 4? Is there any way they can mess with each other, or how does that work?
So because people already have terrible memories.
Very true. I can attest to that.
Yes, it's like already really competitive. I've been to markets. I've participated in the big game markets a couple times now, and I've had people sit down and play. And just like people love to talk, so they'll talk to each other and they'll laugh and they'll make jokes, and then they completely forget where everything is. So literally, that is the competition. Do not let the other person distract you, and try your best to remember where everything is. I often, when I'm playing against other people, I kind of just like count the grid, or like I'll see what pairs I have, and then I'll attribute what's next to it, what's nearest to it, and then that's how I kind of connect where all my cards are. So the competition is just a race against time, because the faster that you go, the faster that your opponent might end up going, and then you can get back to your turn.
I get that.
Which will be more likely that you'll remember your cards.
Yeah, so it's like go of the ones that you know right away.
Yep.
And to hopefully make it so they have to rush their turn, because they have a chance to think while you're playing your turn for that 30 seconds. But if you take 10 seconds, they have even less time to get ready for their turn.
Exactly.
All right. Let's get back to our regular on-camera spots here. So thank you for giving us a little bit of a showcase. I appreciate that. And we're going to go into our quick little break. But when we come back, I want to talk to you more about the Creators Night and also your experience with play testing and the feedback that maybe you've gotten so far, or feedback that you've given to other people, and how it's helped them do their game. So let's play that little song and dance out to that. So I know we want to talk about the testing here and the game design stuff, but one thing I really want to bring up, how did you come up with Batgirl as a name?
So that's an entirely different story for
Give me the cliff notes. Really short.
My mentor, Batman, I met him in my house, and he was in my fridge. And this is a entirely female household. So when I walked out of my room and I saw this man in my fridge, I'm like, who's this? And then it was explained to me, oh, this is Batman. He's actually the father of my youngest cousin, so he's also kind of like family to me. But since I've been out here, he's kind of been guiding me in the realm of community work. Yeah. Batman, Paul Collins Hackett, is Albany's Batman. He works with us at the Red Bookshelf. He's our executive director. He's on like a million different boards, and his influence in my life has led me to want to get into community work and really just follow my dreams, because he shows me that it is possible to do whatever it is I want to do. in the best way possible for our community.
Yeah, it's a cool little tidbit.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that.
Thank
But
you.
now to what we're really here for.
You know.
Is the play testing. So tell me about your experience with play testing events, either for your own game here or other people's card games, board games, video games, whatever the case, and just why these are so important to have for developers.
So when I was in college, I was doing school online, so I did not have a bunch of community groups and people to reach out to. I literally only had like the friends that I had in my circle, and that was not a lot of people. So when I was developing Riz the Game as like a thing for school, I needed a grade on. I needed to have like documented play tests from like about 10 people. I did not know 10 people to play the game. So that was a struggle. I had to like get on Discord and have people like log on to play with me. And that was a struggle. Playtesting really lets you know as like the developer what's wrong with your game and what's right with your game. Now, I lead with what's wrong with your game because there's always going to be something wrong. For example, some people have told me even now after developing my game that the text on my cards is pretty hard to read sometimes, especially given the lighting of the room or like the person's ability to see. And that's just like one example. Now, for other people, when they're first starting their games, it could be that the rules are hard to understand. And that really just translates to, okay, you need to break your rules down a little bit more, or take some of them out, or separate them by themes or game modes. But literally anything somebody could say about your game is feedback. And sometimes it'll be negative. So like, for example, oh, I hate this color.
That's too bad.
Yeah, that's what you would say, right? That's what I think. But they hate the color for a reason. So we have to get down to the bottom of that.
You
literally
can't
have
take
to
it
listen.
personal. Because if everyone takes everything personal, there's going to be no progress,
Right,
right?
there would be no progress. So I hate this color. Okay, why? Well, it's too bright. That's what you needed. That's the feedback that you need. It's too bright against the text on the card, so it makes things hard to read. Or they actually just hate red. Whatever that is, the feedback is valuable, and once you get down to the why. So if you're a game designer or starting out, always ask why and don't take it personally. But also, for somebody who's playtesting and who's coming to the event on Friday, I want you guys to think of it in a way of, if somebody was giving me feedback on like something I wrote, if somebody was giving me feedback on a photo I took, what would I want to hear from them? I would want to hear the why. So be ready to explain yourself, because they're probably going to ask you why. And this is not they're being defensive about it. This is genuinely, why do you feel that way? So that they can make their game better.
Yeah. And going here to the Albany Center Gallery, what is the space going to be like? How many people are going to be showcasing games and that variety we're going to see?
So we're going to see about 4 to 6 people showcasing their games. Specifically, I'm going to have a layout of kind of just like, I don't even know how to describe it, but like.
It's too good to describe.
Oh, just a little bit. But if you see like the table set up here, it's going to be like 2 tables here or 3 tables here, 2 on this side, 2 on this side, and a registration table in the front. So when you come in, you'll be greeted by people just telling you about the event if you're unaware, making sure you're checking in with you to make sure that you have everything you need, letting you know where the food is, letting you know where the bathrooms are, and then just so we can collect that data so we know how many people came out and enjoyed themselves at our event. We'll be doing tournament registrations all the way up until 6 p.m., so that's also what the registration table is there for. And I want to be able to showcase all the amazing people who have donated to the event, and people who are participating as well.
Can you give me some examples of other people's work, either just the name or what the kind of synopsis is?
Yes. So, no, we're not doing lodges anymore. Peter McPherson is an individual who has their games in Barnes & Nobles, and he's who introduced me to the Spielbany.
Smallbany. I know, it's a mouthful.
It's like really like...
It's a pun.
It is a pun, but it's like so weird to say because it's not even spelled that way. But he introduced me to that group. And I met him at Barnes & Noble's. We were playing his game, his newspaper kind of game. I don't really know how to describe it, but I met Peter McPherson. He introduced me to the group. And I love that I'm able to like introduce him to this opportunity and have him come out now. But he is playing. Sorry,
no, you're
he
okay.
Is playing
it's all good.
His game.
It adds to the mystery. That's how people should just find out by going there too.
Right.
But it's nice to hear just a little bit here.
A little bit. He's playing his game Wormholes. It is a space. Like, what is it? It's like one of those games where you kind of have to organize the pieces onto a board to fit into the space. I don't know what the term for that is.
I've played one like that, and I know the name isn't Towns, but you're just trying. It's like almost like a Tetris-esque.
Yes,
but
it's a
you're
Tetris-esque
using your
esque of a
resources
game.
and trying to fit the most, and also get some special little pieces in there.
Yes.
For the one that I played, which once again don't remember the name, but I was at a board game night. You like have to have certain colored ones, and then you get monuments that are like historical pieces. That's what. So kind of similar vein.
It's pretty much the same thing. Well, I don't know. I haven't played it yet.
Other than copyright.
Yes. So he is bringing his game Wormholes. Dreams and Spoons will be present. So that is a couples game where you're helping each other kind of work through a dream together. So I think it's going to be
co-op action.
a little bit of co-op action, which I really love because I love the concept of dreams.
So obviously, board game seems to be a big thing here for you, and obviously with these spaces you've been making. But going back to your degree here at Full Sail, why did you decide to go into board games compared to video games or any other genre here or medium?
Okay, I did that because Riz the Game was like my I can do it project. When I made it in school, I was really proud of it just because of the concept itself and how I was able to take a matching game and turn it into something completely different. But it was also like the thing that I had most accessible to me and the project that I came out of school with that I was most proud of. And I was like, okay, if I can take this thing that I'm really proud of and turn it into something profitable or a success, then I can do literally anything. I specifically want to get into narrative design in terms of game design. And this game doesn't have a story in itself, like when you're playing it, but the story of why it came to be is the story that I want to share. And it's really just my journey going through school, having lost my grandmother who inspired me to get into games, but also my childhood, which kind of like forced me into games in that way. And how I've come out from that, coming on top and creating something silly, fun, and engaging for everybody. And I want to create something fun and engaging for everybody moving forward, something that people can escape to if they need to, or something that they can just enjoy.
Going down that whole fun and engaging aspect.
Yeah.
So obviously, this game has probably seen a couple of different renditions from you.
Yeah.
Through feedback, through your own mind, all of that. So how many different versions of the game have you been through and just crafting this to be where it's at now? Only three. Three because the first edition was online through this platform called GameStructure, so you can use that. It's a free platform. You can use it to make your own like board games, but on a computer. Okay.
And that'll be accessible to like literally anybody to play as long as they have the game code. And then it was the physical version of it being on the tabletop where I printed out the card pieces and started like actually trying to like format them in a way that makes sense, because having like huge cards like this and like this many cards isn't ever going to work on any table. So I had friends play test that one. I had my family play test it. And then January of 2025.
All these years just fly by.
I know, right?
It's so tough.
No, yeah, literally. January of 2025 is when I got them printed locally at a print shop, Camelot Print and Copy Centers. They're the best. And I had these little cards, and it's just like, it's crazy to see how much it's changed over time, but there will be more editions for it. I've gotten great feedback, and people love the concept, but now I want to do a deep dive in it.
Yeah.
So I will be transitioning from board games to mobile pretty soon.
Really? That's exciting.
Yeah.
I not too much, but I have played Tabletop Simulator and sort of that on Steam with those sort of spaces. But that's cool that
there's a free platform for it as well.
Really?
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Wow. How much work will go into that before it's finally ready to go for the mobile?
The mobile version, I want to give myself a year.
Okay.
I like to give myself little to no time.
Yeah.
But I want to give myself a year because I have all of the assets and the concept ready. I just have to literally put it into the platform that I'm going to use to make it mobile. So I'm really excited about that. It's I'm planning to do a Patreon and a Kickstarter for it because I want to make sure I got all my bells and whistles prepared for when Apple and Play Store ask me for fees in any kind of way.
Of course. They got to get that cut somehow, some way.
Actually. Or give them as little as possible, if anything. But I just want to make sure, and then I also want to create a way for people to follow me along their journey. So the Patreon specifically is going to be every month there'll be some type of update or some content that you'll get from me.
One thing I really want to get your opinion on, because I've interviewed a couple other game devs locally in the past, and you mentioned the one, how you found out about this. is that if you're talking to them, obviously they're a bit older than the both of us. And they said, going into this sort of coding world, game design wasn't considered a job. It was a hobby. It was, as of course, our parents looked down upon such things because it seems like art, and you don't make money in art is the conception from a lot of people. So from the two of them, they have day jobs, and then they make their games, their board games or their video games on the side, and that works well for them. But for you, what do you do to support yourself and make it so you? Obviously, this is a business for you, but what keeps you afloat when you're in between?
So I actually, and this is something I really did want to touch on. I work with the Red Bookshelf. That is my day job. I actually just posted a video about that. Our mission is to inspire children to read, and I do I'm a freelance narrative game designer, but I do free after-school programming, in-school programming, teaching kids game design. And that is what keeps me afloat. I'm still in the realm of game design, and that's also why I appreciate Batman, my mentor, so much, because he created that for me. I came through and I helped out with logistical stuff and things that I'm good at, but I was still able to turn my passion and the thing I want to pursue as a career into a way to make my bread and butter, but also literally help our community. I'm $30,000 in debt with my game design degree.
College is expensive. I got very lucky with a 2-year degree.
College is expensive.
But yes.
It's expensive, but I can pass along the skills that I learned and the concepts that I've learned and practiced onto these kids and let them and literally tell them hey, you can do this thing, you can make games, you can be profitable, and it doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg. So start now. And I'm so happy that that's my life every day. I actually have 2 classes that I'm going to go see today after this.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, we have a little bit more time here, but I want to give you this chance. Once again, just say when this event is happening, where it is for people to still sign up at this point. And by the time this episode does air, it's going to be right before it starts, about a day or so before. So got to go act quick on this.
Okay. So I have a spiel.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I want to hear it.
Okay. The Couriers Game Night is a community-based game night bringing out local developers and game designers to showcase their games. We have everybody from people who have just made their games yesterday to people who have their games in Barnes & Nobles, and they all need your feedback. They need play testers, and really I just want to create a space where we can have fun and support each other in a new way. People don't really think that they can be a play tester, but they can.
Anybody
can be a play tester. Literally, people who download games off the App Store are technically play testing the game and providing that game feedback. And this is really valuable to those who are going to be there demoing their games. But in addition to us having that playtesting portion in the first 2 hours, the last hour is going to be a tournament for my card game, Riz the Game. The winner of that will be dubbed the Ultimate Rizzler of 2026, and they'll be winning a couple little prizes. So, as well as being the Ultimate Rizzler of 2026, a really illustrious title.
And there's a card that goes in the part of this, yep?
Yes, I was about to say.
Okay.
They become a date card in the next iteration of Riz the Game, which is going to be mobile. So anybody who has a copy or purchases one of our remaining copies will be getting access code to Riz the Game mobile for free when it comes out. And you get that little scoop because I wasn't telling anybody that. But they're going to be featured as a date card and immortalized in Riz the Game. They'll be getting a free photo shoot with our resident photographer, Hamlin Visions, who's done all of our product photography. Literally every event that I've done or been at, he's been there. And if applicable, they're getting a makeup session with Drop Dead Gorgeous by Sada Amina. And then a couple little fun things thrown in there from our donors. We have the Hollow Bar and Grill, who's providing us with some food. We have Emac and Bolios, who gave us a couple gift cards. We have Wizard Burger, who gave us a gift card. So we're going to be doing raffles throughout the night. The Spectrum Theaters also provided us with some fun things, and that'll be going to our volunteers. And to that point, the mentorship group Titans that I'm a part of, the Titans, my mentees now, because I'm now part of leadership for Titans. I've been a part of it for 5 years now. But my kids are basically coming out to help me out and see what it looks like when you take something like a small idea and make it so huge. And I am really excited to demonstrate that to them.
I'm excited for you to just have all this going on and to get an event happening. Also, like I've said before, I think of Bard and Baker for stuff like this, but to have another event, especially right here in Albany.
Right, because Bard and Baker was here and then they're gone now. Yeah. And I used to go there and hang out with my friends and stuff while I was in school. So I'd love to create another space like that. And this would not be possible without Albany Center Gallery's support. And for my friends who are friends, talking about the people coming to the event, for my friends who are getting a free copy of Riz the Game, you'll be getting an email pretty soon letting you know that you've gotten your copy. But Albany Center Gallery has sponsored that. Like, they've put money in my pocket so that I can give it to you for free and then do this crazy fun event for you guys. So go support Albany Center Gallery. Go be in their space. Go show them love and come out to the event. You can access the registration link on my Instagram, Dreamscapes Entertainment, Dreamscapes_entertainment, or my Facebook, Dreamscapes Entertainment. I'm also on LinkedIn, Abigail Williams. I also go by Batgirl. You might have to put it in the parentheses. I'm on TikTok, Dreamscapes Entertainment, and
She's all over.
I'm trying to cover all my bases. Yeah.
If you have a dream, you have to spread it.
Right.
To make it work.
Literally weaving our dreams into reality.
Well, thank you so much, Batgirl, for taking this time with me. I had a lot of fun with you.
Yes.
And we're going to dance our way out to the intro or the outro. And I'm going to be a little robotic, but the moves is right over across from me. So thanks for joining, and we'll catch you in the next one.